was wounded on November 17th of 1965. I kind of left Vietnam in Vietnam. I've tried my best to not ever brought it home with me. I went along about my life after I got back, and I think that was one of the best things I ever did as far as that goes.
I was in the Army for 3 years, 66 through 69, and I served 13 months in Korea. I lost two guys when I was, two friends of mine that were close friends when I went to school with, and one I hung around with from Sun Prairie. They went to Nam and never came back, and for a while I had mixed emotions about doing this Badger Honor Flight because I really didn't think I deserved it. Well, I had it pretty cushy over in Korea. There were friends of mine, comrades of mine, these guys here, were in Vietnam in just terrible, unbelievable conditions, steamy jungles, getting shot at every day, not knowing if you're gonna, make it through the next day. And I'm over in Korea just, going to like a 8 to 5 job. Started telling this to my wife and other comrades and friends of mine. My wife knows my feelings about this, and she just kept saying, "Dan, I'm getting really upset with this, the way you're feeling about this." And she said, "You served your country, you put in your time, you put in 3 years, and it could have gone either way. You could have gone to Vietnam, and you just happened to end up in Korea."
I was in the service. I went to Vietnam in 1968. I worked in the bomb dump, the munitions. I assembled 500-pound bombs. I expected to be there for a year, but I was called home after 83 days. My mother was dying of cancer, and my dad was having heart problems. So I came home.
My guardian is my oldest son, Jared. He'll be traveling as my guardian, and he's also looking very forward to the trip. He's been very interested in my time in service. He's always asked me about it. I've been at the airport for other veterans, and when we step off the top of at the very top of the steps, the feeling, the sense of the number of people that are there cheering you and welcoming you is going to be just unbelievable, because for the Vietnam veterans, we never received a welcome home.
I served in the U.S. Army, the 10th Division, from 1955 until 1958. When I went into the Army, there were 6 or 7 of us out of Oregon that went in at the same time. And there are 6 of those gentlemen who never lived long enough to have this opportunity to go on the Badger Honor Flight. And I'd just like to name them. There's Don Martinson and Walt Henry, which graduated from Oregon High School in 1952. And there's Jim Elliott, Roger Harklow, Harry Brickner, Jerry Heggie, who have passed on, and they served with me in Germany, but they have never had the opportunity to go on the Badger Honor Flight. So for me, it's really special that hopefully I can represent those fellow soldiers and classmates and friends in Washington.
I told my son, learning to become a teacher, and I was with the student Wisconsin Education Association out in DC, and I called home when I had a break, and one thing led to another, and my son was about 14 then. He said, "Dad, have you been to the Vietnam Wall?" Because I never talked about it, like many of us. I never talked about Vietnam. I said, "No, I haven't." "Are you going to go?" And I hesitated, and he said, "Promise me you'll go." All right. The Washington Monument was right over there. I went down the street a couple blocks, and I went to one of the panels, and right away I saw two guys I was in basic training with that made the wall, and I collapsed. I was on all fours and I'm just sobbing. I couldn't go any further. And about 3-4 months ago, I told Brad that there's a chance I could be on the honor flight coming up. But this is why I'm going, is for him.
When I was drafted, I spent 13 months with Larry W. Jones, which is a fella whose memory bracelet I have on. And when we was on the boat going over, I was on the cot above him. And we were on the same track, in the same unit, the same platoon for the time over there. That we were together basically from the 5th of September till April 14th of 1968 when I hit a landmine and he got moved to a different track, which I was in an armored unit and I was the driver of a personnel carrier. This bracelet that I've got, it's got his name, his rank, where he was killed, the date he was killed, where his hometown is and where his name is on the wall. So I had plans to go down to Bridgeport, Illinois to visit the parents of Larry. And I think I got as far as Bloomington Normal. And I couldn't do it. I turned around and came back. And just the last weekend in June, I met another fella and we was down there, so I finally got down there. I was only 50 years late, but it was my brother.